Two guys not related, yet somehow are given the same name. It's time for the Two Daves podcast, where we'll answer the age-old question, are two Daves better than one? And now, here's Dave and Dave.
That's right. You've entered the family-friendly zone. Welcome to another Two Daves podcast, and we'll leave the light on for you. Hey, I'm Dave.
And I'm the other Dave, and this ain't tacos. This is where 9 out of 10 doctors recommend using mouthwash in your ears after listening to the Two Daves podcast. There's a lot of different platforms for us to listen. But if you're listening to us on YouTube, please, folks, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And by the way, it doesn't cost to subscribe. When you do that, go ahead and click on the bell icon next to it, and then share the podcast with your friends. That helps us too. Help us spread the word not yet heard of the Two Daves podcast nation. Oh, and one more thing. Would you comment on what you liked in this podcast and what you'd like to see us possibly do in the future? We'd really love to hear from you. And I just have this little technical note. In our community over these last 48 hours, we've been having some power difficulties, surges and whatnot, and it's kind of slowed our internet down. So if there's some issues with my end, that's what's going on, Dave.
There sure are issues on your end most of the time. So
all the time, man, all the time.
What happened? The hamster wheel break off and it's not going anymore, or what?
I think so. Hopefully they're gonna update us from dial-up real soon.
I hope so. I hope they get you into at least the 20th century.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hey, you've been reading the comments?
Yes, I have.
Overwhelmingly, it says, I love the other Dave, and the Dave from Kansas, not so much.
The Dave what?
The Dave from Kansas, not so much.
No, that isn't what it said. It just said, I love the other Dave.
Oh, well.
I think we have to guess who the other Dave is.
Well, we all know your mom likes me the best, so,
Oh, that's true. But yeah.
Well, it's time for the Two Daves fact of the day. And we have a sponsor.
Yes, we do.
It's sponsored by the toy All Alone Bert.
Yes.
All Alone Bert, an action figure of Bert on Sesame Street on a canoe all by himself. That's right. It's All Alone Bert. Get yours where they stock your favorite Sesame Street toys. And now the Two Daves fact. What do you think of that, Dave?
Well, I think that's great. I think that All Alone Bert goes right along with me because I'm all alone most of the time.
Well, then the All Alone Dave should get All Alone Bert.
Yeah. And you know what? It's fitting that All Alone Bert is our sponsor because the Two Daves fact of the day happens to regard Sesame Street. Did you know? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Which
one? Gargling?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
The Cookie Monster's first name. Did you know he had a first name?
I did.
Did you know this? Okay.
Well, yeah, because I'm reading it.
Oh. No, this isn't scripted. This is all off the top of your head.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
All right. The Cookie Monster's first name is Sid.
No, I really didn't know that. That's Sid. Did they ever call him Sid on there?
I never heard him call him Sid. So I don't know.
Weird.
That is weird.
Well, Dave, we did a guess what this book is about. Remember when we did that kind of fun thing?
You can't judge a book by its title. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna do. We were really good on that with a title about that. You can't judge a book by its title.
Too bad. We were kind of iffy, but yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna do. You can't judge a movie by its title.
I'm ready.
And so we're going to play this game.
Yeah. Okay, here's the rules.
Yep.
Each Dave is going to give a movie title, and the other Dave has to try to guess what it's about.
All right, I'll start.
Okay.
The movie is called Quackser, Fortune has a cousin in the Bronx. Quaxer. Now here's the thing. When I came up with mine, I have a feeling you've watched some of these because you're a movie buff. You know, we've established that. But
Well, honestly, I was kind of hoping. I thought, oh, I hope he gives me one that he thinks I haven't heard of. But I'm telling you, I don't know what you're talking about right now. Give me the title again.
it's called Quaxer. Fortune has a cousin in the Bronx.
Quaxer.
Mm-hmm.
Fortune has a cousin in the Bronx. All right, I'm gonna guess that it's about a duck who lives in New York. It's like a tale of two cities. I don't know. And his cousin, or the Prince of the Pauper, and his cousin comes to visit him, and he's also.
You know what? You're putting like Ratatouille and Howard the Duck together. I think. I don't know. This movie featured Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka himself.
I love Gene Wilder.
So he doesn't want to spend his life working in a factory like his dad. So he creates a profession for himself.
Okay.
He follows the horse-drawn delivery wagons, shovels up the horse droppings from the streets, and resells it from a push cart as fertilizer.
Wow. Okay, so Quaxer must just simply be his name then.
I don't know. I really don't know. And I really don't want to go watch that movie either.
Do you know what year that movie came out?
I'm thinking that is late 60s, early 70s. I'm trying to look, I have a movie poster thing, but I think it's in the early 70s from what I see.
70s.
I could be wrong.
All right. Well, hey, I've got one. It's my turn.
Okay.
All right. Here's one. It's called Leonard Part 6.
Leonard Part 6.
Yes. Any guesses?
Wow, brother. Okay. A movie about 6 brothers whose all their first names is Leonard.
Wow. No. Sorry, I can't give that one to you.
Okay.
This is about a secret agent by the name of Leonard Parker. Leonard Parker, he's played by Bill Cosby, all right? He's called out of retirement to save the world from evil genius Medusa Johnson. That's what Leonard Part 6 is. Evidently, it's, Part 6 in a series of Leonard movies. I never heard of any of them, honestly, until I got this, until I found this.
Well, I just looked on my phone. There's a Leonard Part 7.
Is there really? Hey, you're not supposed to be cheating. You're not looking on your phone, are you?
No, I'm not. But this is secret agent Bill Cosby spends the rest of his life in jail.
Oh, really? Oh, no, Dave. Oh,
all right. Never mind. Okay. Are you ready for this next one? You should get this one. You should get this one. Operation Dumbo Drop.
Oh, yeah. Operation Dumbo Drop. I've seen that one. Isn't that?
No.
I have. Isn't that with Danny Glover? Is he in it?
Yes.
Yeah, they have to airlift an elephant. I can't remember why, but it's the military. It involves the military and involves an elephant, and they have to airlift him from a helicopter.
Well, you're right on, and I totally forgot. I think you've gone through this Walt Disney movie stuff. You've seen like all but what?
No. We just watched all the animated class, the animated features.
Okay.
So is this a Walt Disney movie?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it has Ray Liotta and Dennis Leary in it.
I didn't remember that, but I remember Danny Glover being in it.
It wasn't that popular, was it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it was pretty stupid as I remember it.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Well, here's one. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here's the title. Stop, or my mom will shoot.
Well, this is the story of the other Dave's mom. No. This would be Stop, or I think I've seen this one. I think Barbara Streisand's the mom of somebody and is overprotective.
No, no. Now, I'm
No?
sure you probably have seen the cover. I remember, when we were younger in the 80s, you'd go to video rental stores, and they'd have
Yes.
the videos out there on the the shelves, and you'd look to see, and that was a ubiquitous one. Every video store you went into, there it was, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I never got the courage to rent it because it always looked stupid. It was Sylvester Stallone and Estelle Getty, if that tells you anything.
From
Estelle
Golden
Getty
Girls?
from Golden Girls, yeah.
Mm.
It's where a tough police sergeant's overbearing mother comes to visit him and begins to meddle in his life and career.
Hey, I got part of it right. And overprotective.
Yeah, overprotective, but she's overbearing.
Oh, well.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Now, I think that you might have seen this one. And if you did, you probably lost some brain cells because I have seen this one.
Uh-oh.
It is called Health Inspector.
Health Inspector.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It doesn't ring any bells to me. Health Inspector. Is it I'm sure it's probably a comedy, and it's probably about kind of along the lines of Ace Ventura, where instead of a pet detective, he's a health inspector. I don't know.
Well, that's pretty close. I mean, it says it's a comedy, but it's not a good comedy. I can tell you that. Yes, it has the star of it, which I kind of like, Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the Cable Guy. I love his Cars.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was great in that, but this is not Cars for sure. They'll give anyone a badge, is what they said. A sloppy cable repairman becomes a big city health inspector and is tasked with uncovering the source of a food poisoning epidemic.
And you've seen this, huh?
Yes. Well, I've seen the TV version of this, and I've just seen probably 2/3 of it. And that was 2/3 of a movie that wasted my life. So, yeah.
All right. Well, this is probably a stretch. You probably have heard this one, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway.
Okay.
Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
Well, it just happened that my daughter and I went to go see that movie at Christmas time when that came out.
Oh, really? Now, I didn't see it in the theater, but I've seen it. I believe I've seen it on DVD.
It was not a popular movie, I don't believe.
No, it tanked big time.
Yeah, and I think I was lucky to see it in the movie theater because I don't think it lasted more than 3 weeks in the theater.
I think it kind of ended Dustin Hoffman's career.
Oh, man.
Dustin Hoffman, the great actor, Kramer versus Kramer, The Graduate, Rain Man, Tootsie.
Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If you like stories like this, it was really a fun little story. It was very predictable, and but my daughter was much younger then, and
did she like it?
Yeah, she did. It came out in Thanksgiving, I believe, or that's usually when Christmas movies come out. And I don't know so much it was a Christmas movie. It was, but it was in a toy store, a magical toy store, I believe.
Kind of a holiday feel to it. Yeah. Well, it's about, for those of you who are wondering, it's the young apprentice of a magical, eccentric toy store owner learns to believe in herself, and that's Natalie Portman. Who is another good actress who, despite this movie, her career still survived.
Yeah.
She learns to believe in herself and in her friends upon learning some grave news about the future.
Yeah. Hey, that's a weird thing. Okay. Here's one.
Okay.
I've not seen this, and we're not recommending any of these movies, just letting everybody know. And I'm not saying these are family safe movies either. So, we're just using these titles. Okay. So, this one, I think I have one. Do you have one more left, Dave? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Okay. So it's called The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies.
Is that the name or is that the description?
No, that's the name. That's the title.
Can you read that again?
Yeah, I get out of breath reading it. The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies.
Wow. Well, I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to guess that it's about some, I don't know, some like incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and then they became mixed up zombies.
How did you get that?
I just kind of rolled the dice. I don't know. I've never heard of it, but I'm just guessing.
Wow. Well, I think this was the early 70s. Do you what's that cult classic Halloween movie that came out
Rocky
with
Horror Picture Show?
Yeah, this was kind of around that time.
Oh, was this kind of a ripoff of Rocky Horror?
I don't know if it was a ripoff, but it was around that time when everything was like that was
okay.
Kind of, big thing. This is Jerry falls in love with the girl he meets at a carnival. Little does he know that she is the sister of a gypsy fortune teller whose predictions he had scoffed at earlier. The gypsy turns him into a zombie and mayhem begins.
Oh, wow. Sounds good. Is this a musical like Rocky Horror?
Well, I don't know if it's a musical. Again, I've not watched this, Dave.
Okay.
I did not do the best research on some of these. I just look for very strange or weird titles.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, here's my last one. My stepmother is an alien.
Dave, why'd you pick two of them that I've seen?
Have you seen this one?
I saw this one when it came out. I think this is this was. Do you remember? We were talking about the Great Outdoors movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe this came out. This was like Aykroyd's movie that came out like it was like two movies before that, maybe even three.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely Dan Aykroyd and Kim Basinger.
Yeah, and he falls in love, gets married. The only thing is she's an alien, right?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen it, and I have no desire.
No, I don't even remember it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it wasn't probably very memorable.
No.
Aykroyd did some kind of stupid, he did some pretty brilliant things, but he also did some pretty stupid things too.
Well, you're getting into this. I like Dragnet with him and Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Oh, listen, Tom Hanks, my favorite actor.
Dragnet's a good movie. That was a good one. He was, well, of course, Ghostbusters was a huge thing for him.
I liked him in Christmas with the Cranks.
I did too.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen him since in movies.
I don't think I have either.
He brings
what else
something.
I liked him in? I liked him in Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah. You know what? I've never seen Driving Miss Daisy.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave, we're gonna have to end this episode because you have to go watch Driving Miss Daisy, and then maybe we can be friends.
Okay. All right. Well, if it's based on that, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last episode of the 2 Daves podcast. I'm finding me another Dave.
Hey, Dan Aykroyd received an Oscar nomination for Driving Miss Daisy.
Really?
Yeah. So,
he's been, I think he always adds something unique to a movie.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, Christmas with the Cranks, it wasn't the most popular Christmas movie, but people who like Christmas movies, that's in their top 10.
I like it. Have you ever read the book by John Grisham, Skipping Christmas?
No, but did you know there was a movie called Skipping Christmas?
No, I did not know that.
And I can't remember how old that was, but no, I knew there was a book. I've never read that book.
I'm a John Grisham fan, and I think I've read every one of his books, and I read Skipping Christmas, and Christmas with the Cranks is pretty faithful to that book. So that's one reason why I like it, is because it's a John Grisham book.
Yeah. I thought it was good. They had some good actors in that.
They did. It's fun. I enjoy it. Of course, you know me. I like Christmas movies like you do.
Yeah. Well, tonight, Dave, we're going to transition from weird movie titles into dynamic
discussion.
Yes, about dynamic duos.
Yes.
It should be fun, but I only have one thing to say right now to start it off.
What are you going to say, Dave?
Nana, 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 Batman.
Yes.
Dave, it's
my
Commissioner
favorite show
Gordon.
when I was a kid.
Yeah, I love that. That was one of my favorite shows.
Yes.
It's Commissioner Gordon, and he said there's trouble downtown Gotham. The Joker is trying to do a podcast. The two Daves to the rescue.
Okay, let me interpret what the other Dave just said. On tonight's podcast, we're going to look at famous duos, and we're going to try and pick the best ones and maybe even highlight some bad ones. We don't want to focus on the negative, but let's face it, there have been some bad duos as well. In life, being alone is never a good choice. I know there are some people who will say, I like being a loner. People just get in the way. But the truth is, having a buddy with you is always better. Two are better than one.
Are 2 days better than one? For
Yes.
sure. For sure. The old saying says 2 heads are better than one.
Mm-hmm.
But I never heard that growing up. I heard, Dave, if your head wasn't attached to your neck, you'd lose it all the time.
You heard that too?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I heard that, oh, man, throughout all of my years living at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this Michael Farrell, he's a professor of sociology at the University of Buffalo. He produced a study of close creative groups in his book, Collaborative Circles, Friendship Dynamics, and Creative Work. Okay. And the study, Dave, looked at group dynamics, the power of basically dynamic duos. And he wrote the following. He said, most of the fragile insights that laid the foundation of a new vision emerged not when the whole group was together and not when members worked alone, but when they collaborated and responded to one another in pairs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you for that deep dive into pairs.
You're welcome. This has been Dr. Dave.
Yeah, there are many times throughout history when collaboration provided the framework for significant results. Tom and Jerry, Batman and Robin, you know, the list goes on and on and on. In fact, over the past 35 years, about half of the Nobel Prizes in physiology and medicine have gone to scientific partnerships. In Power of Two, Finding the Essence of Innovation in Creative Pairs, Joshua Wolf Shank quotes an interview in which John Lennon, you know who that is? John Lennon?
John Lennon, yes, I do.
Yes. John Lennon explained that either he or Paul McCartney would write the good bit, the part that was easy, like I read the news today or whatever it was. One of them would lack inspiration until the other arrived. Lennon followed up with, I would sing half and he'd be inspired to write the next bit, and vice versa. Anybody can fall into a creative rut from time to time. We know that.
Yeah.
But it's rare for two people to do so concurrently, except, of course, for the Two Daves podcast.
That's so true.
Yeah.
We've yet to write something good. Oh, well. Oh, well. There's a cartoon that I think it's Dilbert. Have you heard of Dilbert?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. Well, Dilbert, kind of funny here. His boss comes in and he's sitting with his office partner, and the boss says, the two of you will be a code writing team. And he goes on to say, studies prove that two programmers, on one computer, is the most productive arrangement. The boss moves away, and Dilbert's partner goes, sometimes I can whistle through both nostrils. I've saved a fortune in harmonicas. Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
yeah. What are we saying then?
Well, we're saying two Daves are better than one.
Two are better than one. That's right.
I mean, I would hope so. That's in our opening line. we're going to answer the age-old question: Are 2 days better than one?
That's right.
Well, besides the rewards of partnership, and doing these podcasts with you, Dave, have been great. I mean, I've really enjoyed it.
Oh,
and but there's also some benefits. When we work with others, it produces unity. Well, most of the time. Even the Lone Ranger wasn't alone. He had his faithful partner, Tonto.
That's right.
By the way, I had Lone Ranger and Tonto dolls growing up as a kid and just loved.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were my friends because I'm an only child, so I had no friends. So it was great. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hi-oh, Silver. Away. Okay.
Hey, did you see the movie with Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp?
I did not, but was it good or?
It was good. Actually, I just saw it recently, and I recommend it. It's a good movie.
I have it, and I need to watch it.
Yeah, Johnny Depp is just an interesting actor, and he does a great Tonto.
I think he's an interesting actor because he's an interesting person.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And I use the word interesting in a weird way, but that's beside the point. Yeah. So anyway, let's get back to this, Dave. If you're thinking about becoming, a dynamic duo, I think there's some guidelines that we need to look at and follow. Now, I'm not saying the 2 Daves follow these, but these are some things from studies that we've, had our research team, get these facts and send them to us. They were delivered to us from a dove today, and I appreciate that. So anyway, here's, just remember this. The 2 Daves are here to help you out, and so we'll start with the first one. The first one is opposites have the best chemistry. When you have two people that are too similar, they're going to say each other's talking points. Instead, pairing people who have different personalities is what works.
So let's talk about some of the greatest duos that are the total opposite of each other.
Okay. Well, before we get to that, let's talk about the 2 Daves.
All right. Yeah.
Do we have that chemistry of opposite?
Well, I think in many cases we do. Now our wives say that we think alike a lot, and we do on a lot of stuff.
Yes.
But I think there's enough opposite between us that we do complement each other too.
We do have a lot of opposites. I mean, we don't our likes are not always the same.
Yeah.
Thought patterns are probably, are what we think. How we go about thinking, coming to a conclusion is probably different.
Yeah. For example, I'm much smarter than you are.
And I'm much more creative than you are. So,
But I'm better looking, so it works out.
Well, we'll see. Whenever we go video, we will have to have we'll see. But hey, yeah, anyway, opposites. I think there's a lot to be said about opposites finding chemistry there. We have a huge list. So I'm going to go to that list, Dave. You have that too. And we kind of separated, and we're going to talk about this later on, but we separated duos into cartoon duos, TV duos, movie duos, musical duos, food duos, biblical duos, and miscellaneous duos. And so if you look at, let's go to TV duos for a second. Where are some opposites that you see that really work together from our list? I would say, let me start. I would say Captain Kirk and Spock are opposite.
Sure. Well, you kind of threw me for a loop here. I'm gonna say Kermit and Miss Piggy. I mean, a frog and a pig. You can't get much more opposite than that. No, you can't.
Let's see. Okay. I think Fonz and Richie were opposites.
Yep.
Yeah.
Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon.
Yes. Very much so. Very much so. Do you think Frazier and Niles were? I think they were.
Oh, in some ways.
In some ways,
But
they
you can
were.
definitely tell they're brothers.
Yeah, you can. You can. So maybe that wasn't the best. Donnie and Marie,
Yeah. Yeah. One was a little bit country.
and one was a little bit rock and roll.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And Andy and Barney for sure.
I was just going to say Andy and Barney. Yep.
So I think those are some very successful dynamic duos, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That brings us to the second point, Dave.
Okay. Yes. The second point. I have to find it. All right. Here's the second point.
Hey, Dave, are you we're doing two Dave's podcasts right now. I didn't know if you knew that, but
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, well, do you know what's going on right now? Do you have any idea what's going on right now aside
No.
from the 2 Days podcast?
No, what?
Our kids are messaging each other right now, your kids and my kids, and so it's coming up on my phone, and I'm distracted by what they're saying.
Turn it over then.
I know I should. But,
Oh,
anyway,
brother.
all right.
You
Here's
can
the second-
do that.
What?
You can do that better than me. I can't multitask that way.
Well, here's another point. Introvert and a charismatic person.
Well, now that's kind of like opposites, but yet there is some difference there, right?
Yeah.
Because you can have two charismatic people, but they have opposite likes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. Well, I think I was going to say something, but you go ahead and do it.
All right. Well, I think a perfect example of this would be Laurel and Hardy, because one of the best pairs. One is the slick talker, and the other person has more control with their emotions and speech. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well,
so, go ahead.
No, well, I'm just kind of thinking about you and I. How would you consider us?
Well, I think we've talked about this before, that I'm pretty much an introvert, and you are. I think the charisma would describe both of us, but you were definitely the more outgoing of the two.
Well, yeah, I tell you what, that doesn't come easy always to me, but yeah. Well, okay, so
it's probably what it is. It's making up for your lack of looks.
It's a cry for help, is what it is. Okay, so let's look at. We looked at TV. Did we have movie people at all?
Have what again?
We don't have any movie people, do we? So let's look at.
We should have movies, don't we?
We did.
Yeah, we have movie duos.
Where?
Right after the TV duos.
Really? Oh, yeah. Duh. Okay.
Remember when I was talking about the intelligence quotient here?
Yeah, okay, sorry. The sidewalk doesn't go all the way up to the front door. Yeah. So, okay. Okay, so you start with Laurel and Hardy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think you look at Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Sure, yeah. Dean Martin was the suave, sophisticated one. Jerry Lewis played the fool.
They say our computers or our phones are listening to us,
Yeah.
So this morning on my YouTube feed was Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis reuniting after all those years of the fighting that they had on the telethon.
Really?
Yeah. I think Dean Martin was a little tipsy that night. Frank Sinatra brought him out. Yeah. Frank Sinatra brought him out, and, they hugged and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was interesting.
Well, another famous movie duo, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers famously said that she could do everything that Fred Astaire could do, but backwards and in heels.
Oh, that's good. That's
I
good.
love those two.
I do too. I watched a lot of their movies. People don't know this, but Fred Astaire, he could sing.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
I
He
mean,
was a
and I
crooner.
know he sung in the movies. I understand that, but he was mainly known for his dancing.
Dancing, and he was a dancer extraordinaire.
Yeah, and he was a
And
good actor too.
and Ginger Rogers was an incredible actress.
Yeah,
I think she's very underrated. I anything Ginger Rogers is in is worth watching
yeah,
because it's going to be interesting.
yeah. I agree. Well, I look at some other ones like Felix and Oscar from The Odd Couple.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, there's two different oddballs right there, but one's more prevalent than the other one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, okay. Well, those are some. We don't want to share all of our duos. And and then that brings us to the third point. And a lot of these are kind of woven together. Again, there's a lot of similarities here. Like the third one would be same yet different. Now, let me explain.
Yeah.
Lucy and Ethel, right? Off of the Lucy show.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Lucille Ball and Ethel Mertz. Yeah.
Yep.
Or Lucy Ricardo and Ethel Mertz. Yeah.
Right. And they were both very much alike. In fact, if you remember the candy conveyor where they had to package candy.
Oh, that was great.
Hysterical.
That is classic comedy, man.
It is. But they were different in that Lucy wanted so desperately to be a big star. Remember, because Ricky was a band leader, and he would do all kinds of crazy stunts to get involved, and she wanted to be known. And Ethel would rather just be Ethel.
Yeah. And sometimes Ethel had to kind of pull Lucy to the ground. Now, other times Ethel would kind of go along with Lucy and try to help her reach her dreams, but other times she'd say, Lucy. Yeah.
No matter what, they both got in trouble.
Oh, yeah. That's great stuff.
It was that's good. So, we're going to talk about some of these things, and we're going to also talk about some other characteristics. So for the remainder of our podcast, the two Daves are going to do their best at rating the best and the worst dynamic duos and come up with our, I would say, top 6, top 8 of all time that we have on our list. Okay. Now, here's the fun thing for our listeners. We can't come up with every duo. So we came up with the ones that we thought of.
Yeah. And since we made these lists, I thought of others, but we just can't put them all in there.
If you want to put some down, that's fine. Go ahead.
We'll see.
So if you want to comment what your favorite duos are, go ahead and comment, especially on YouTube. I know you can comment, and or you can go to the Two Daves Facebook page and comment there as well. Are you ready to do this, Dave?
We may as well do it. We may as well. That's what people have come to listen to.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Chaos or what?
What?
Chaos or what?
Yeah, sorry, I dropped something.
Your head, if it wasn't attached to you.
yeah, no kidding.
Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna start in the area of cartoon duos. All right.
Okay, let's do it.
Dave and I come from a generation where cartoons were really good cartoons.
Yeah.
And in fact, some of these cartoons were even prime time. Did you know that, Dave?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we came up with, what did we come up with? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All right. Now, Dave and I are going to go through these, and we're going to pick out what we think are the 2 best and what we think are the worst one out of them. Okay. And here's what we have. We have Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, and we want to rate them between 1 and 10. So you're going to give them a rating, and I'm going to give them a rating. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready?
Right. I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
I wanted to surprise you tonight, Dave.
You did.
Good.
Okay.
So what I want to do though is there anything that stands out between Scooby and Shaggy that would make them either one of the best or the worst?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I've seen a lot of Scooby Doo, but oh yeah, no, okay. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking Scooby Doo and Scrappy, but
Oh, man.
all of a sudden, just I forgot who Shaggy was.
Oh, wow. Well, okay, go ahead.
All right, sorry. Now, what was your question again?
Oh
Sorry.
my God. I'm sorry. And he says he's the smart one. Come on now. All right. So anyway, what makes Scooby and Shaggy that you would say would be a good dynamic duo?
Well,
We're talking about cartoons here.
yeah, I think the reason why they work so well together in that ensemble of the ghost hunters or whatever they are, is the fact that they're probably the dumbest in the group, and so they kind of work well together. They're definitely the comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they're not, and they're both scaredy cats.
They are, but they always seem to accidentally find
Yeah.
the criminals.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So on the count of three, between 1 and 10, you tell me, you give me a number, and I'll say my number. Do you have your number ready?
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5.
6.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. You do the next one.
All right. Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck.
Classic. I probably the favorite one of them is when it's duck season, rabbit season. I love that. And I just, to me, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck were the best Looney Tunes. I really, really like them.
And here's kind of the opposite at play with Scooby and Shaggy. Bugs and Daffy were Bugs was smart. He was intelligent. Daffy, not so much. He was a little daffy.
No, he was.
Yeah.
He was. But I really like them. So, okay. Count of three. 1, 2, 3. 7.
Hey.
Whoa. You must like them too. See, if only one of us really comment, it gives there some suspense there for what the other person's going to say. So let's go on to the next one. Here's a classic, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yep. Now, I really didn't watch a whole lot of Rocky and Bullwinkle when I was growing up.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Well, so you don't know much about them, basically?
I know who they are. Rocky is the moose, or Rocky's the squirrel? Rocky's the moose.
No,
right?
Rocky's the squirrel.
Squirrel, and Bullwinkle's the moose.
Yeah.
Okay, that shows you how much I know about them.
Yeah. Yeah, they were good. I mean, I liked watching them. That was a show that had Mr. Peabody and Sherman and all that kind of stuff. But they had their fun things. But let's go ahead and rate them. 1, 2, 3. 3.
Wow.
Wow.
We are good at this.
Wow. Okay.
All right, here's the next one. Woody and Buzz Lightyear.
Well, I mean, how popular? I mean, they're so popular. They, the first movie came out in 94? 95.
Mm-hmm.
And, I remember that Christmas buying Woody and Buzz for kids,
Lane.
And for many years to come, Lane. But, we would have, I don't know. We would buy them for some other family friends and stuff like that. So that it's very popular.
Yeah. The writing was so sharp, but then you have the acting of Tom Hanks and Tim Allen.
Yeah.
So it was just destined to be a great duo.
Well, Buzz was fearless until he found out he couldn't fly.
Yeah.
But that didn't stop him once he stopped becoming Mrs. Nesbit or whatever his name was, remember?
Yep.
One of my favorite scenes of him having tea with the girl. That is so funny. But, I like the camaraderie they had.
Yeah.
The love they had for one another.
They had conflict, between the two of them, and yet they were close. They were best friends.
The first one is so funny. They're getting a new toy, and it's Buzz.
Yes.
Woody just hates it. I love you're right. The writing in there was great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3, 9.
10.
You got to do it right when I say it. Now you're waiting for me to say my number.
No, not at all.
Okay.
All right, here's the next one.
Mario and Luigi. What?
I guess it was your turn to say it, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Mario
and you're the smart one. And you're the smart one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just reminding everybody you're the smart one. What you can say about them in the gaming world? They are huge. Now I know they had some cartoons and stuff, which they're just doing that really for the games, but the cartoons are still so popular.
Yeah.
I mean the games are still so popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I never watched the cartoons. Did you?
Nope, not at all.
I don't even. There's not even. There's not. I don't even get the chemistry between them. I don't. Yeah. It's just gaming.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was a waste of time to do the cartoons.
So I think that when we're talking about dynamic duos, we better think about this one here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And we're gonna make some people very mad. I have a feeling in this.
That's fine.
1, 2, 3, 2.
All right.
I gave each of them 1 point. So
if there's anybody out there that is a Mario fan, please comment. Let us know and tell us why you like Mario and Luigi.
That's right. Okay, Pumbaa and Timon.
Pumbaa and Timon from The Lion King. Great pair.
Yes.
Again,
I love it.
Great writing and the great acting of Ernie Sabella and oh shoot, his name escapes me. Who was Timon?
He was
Nathan.
He was John Mayer.
No, John Mayer. What?
Oh no. Okay, I don't. Hammerstein, I think.
I think you just better give up.
I don't know those things. I just watch it. I don't know.
Okay.
Weirdo.
Nathan Lane. Thank you. Nathan
Lane, the producers. Okay, I got it.
No, not the producers. The voices of Timon and Pumbaa.
I know, but he was in producers.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, man, we still get to write something good.
Our chemistry is not working tonight, is it?
Okay. On 1, 2, 3, 9.
We got it right.
This is going
right,
to
here's the next one.
way
SpongeBob
longer.
SquarePants and Patrick Star.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Yeah, great pairing. Two rather dim-witted characters, but they just love life.
I quote a lot of SpongeBob with my kids.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. I'm Dirty Dan. I'm Pinhead. Who you calling Pinhead? I love it. I found that SpongeBob was great to watch with your kids because it wasn't just for kids. You'd sit down and watch it and you get caught up in it, and because it was just as entertaining for adults. Oh yeah. I like them. I like their chemistry. They're so dumb. Again, you lose brain cells watching it, but it's fun. Now, those that are listening to this that are probably over our age, you have no clue probably who SpongeBob and Patrick is.
Unless you had kids or grandkids that love SpongeBob. And then, of course, you know exactly who we're talking about.
Yeah. All right. Well, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, 8.
Okay.
Wow. What's going on here?
I think we're doing well.
Okay. Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry, the classic. I think you have given us the oldest pair between in any of this list. Tom and Jerry have been around the longest.
Even more so than Mickey and Donald?
I'm not sure, but I think so.
Yeah.
I think even
Okay.
not more than Mickey, but I think they were around before Donald came along to pair with Mickey.
Well, I think this is Fred Quimby is the one that is right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I know that. This was great. Tom and Jerry. I don't like the new cartoons. I don't. Yeah. I like the old.
Did you see the new one that just came out in the theaters recently?
No, I want to see that.
We saw that. That was good. We took our grandkids to see it.
Yeah. Well, our movie theater kind of shut down quite a bit. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And when it's only open on Saturday.
It's too long for a kids movie, but it's still good. Yeah.
Well. Yeah, they were good. And not a lot of talking, let's face it.
Yeah, most of it was not talking. It was action.
It was all action, it was all stunts, it was all, it was good.
Yeah.
They were great with how they drew the facial reactions, and those were all good stuff.
So my father-in-law loved Tom and Jerry. He would buy their DVDs and watch them by himself. I'm not talking about with grandkids. He would watch them by himself. It was so funny. There's this man in his 60s and 70s watching Tom and Jerry.
Incredible. Well, I have a feeling there's a lot of people that they're pretty fond of them. So, okay. 1, 2, 3,
7.
9.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. A lot of this personal
next
preference.
We have Mickey and Donald, Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck.
So Mickey and Donald to me aren't really, yes, they're cartoons. I get it. For me, it's more Disneyland, Disney World. You're going to the park. You see Donald as a character, not really them
as a duo.
Yeah.
Right. I agree. I think they work better individually than they do as a pair.
Yeah. If you go to Disney World and you see,
that's what I'm considering in my rating.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
All right. Now here could be one of my favorites right here. Fred and Barney.
Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble.
Loved. Because what it was a knockoff Honeymooners.
Yes.
Is what it was.
Yeah, it was the Honeymooners in prehistoric times. Mm-hmm.
And, for those that are older than us, you'll know who the Honeymooners are.
Yep.
And our younger generation. Yeah. And there you go. Jackie Gleason, Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
Art Carney was Barney.
Uh-huh.
It was just, and it was such a good, and it was prime time.
Yeah.
And it held, I was reading about it. It held its own in prime time.
It did. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I like their how they got in trouble. I liked how they tried covering for one another and got in trouble. There was just a
Ralph Cramden and Ed Norton. That's for sure.
Oh man, yeah. Well, this is going to be difficult for me because they're one of my favorites. So I'll try and be okay. 1, 2, 3,
8.
15.
You can't do that.
No, I say 9. What did you say?
I said 8.
Okay. It's hard for me to put a 10 down. I don't know. Okay, Nickelodeon fans, Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb. There's another cartoon duo that's not just for kids.
My
kids would watch Phineas and Ferb, and I'd have to watch it with them. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. But yep.
It was great.
It was.
They were smart. I loved how they outsmarted their sister.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that was great.
I loved it. It was good. What was it? They had a platypus. Isn't that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but or her name, whatever. But I loved Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
They were good. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3,
7.
6.
Okay.
All right. We're pretty close. And the last one is good old Disney Chippendale.
Chippendale. Yeah. Chippendale were the chipmunks, that were part of Disney.
Yeah. And they were, they had their own cartoons, and then they also had Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
So
I'll be honest with you, I've just never been a real big Chip and Dale fan.
Well, I think, my son, that's still one of his favorites, Lane.
He likes Chip and Dale, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. He loves we watch that together a lot. So I think it was
Now, you are talking about the cartoon, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I am talking about the cartoons.
You're not talking about the furniture.
No, not the furniture. No.
Or the dancers.
No.
Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley.
Oh, man. Now, there's a duo right there. There you
go.
Okay. Chip and Dale. 1, 2, 3, 5. Wow, you're a hater.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so the top 2 I have is Woody and Buzz are 19. Okay. And then Timon and Pumbaa are 18. Yep. And I believe those are the top 2.
Yeah.
And the lowest one, oh, wow, is Mario and Luigi.
What score did we give them?
3.
3, okay. Sorry, Mario and Luigi fans.
Yes. Well, now, this is going way longer than what we thought it was going to go. So maybe we'll just hit another category.
Yeah, and then we'll finish it up next week.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. Or
do it later down the road, because some people might be bored with this 2 weeks in a row.
Those are people that don't belong in the 2 Daves Nation. Just kidding.
Dave, we need all 6 of our followers.
That's right.
So come on now. Okay, so we've got movie duos. That might be fun to do. We've got food duos, which would be, miscellaneous. I think we need to do. What do you? Let's do movie duos.
All right, I'm up for that.
Or TV duos. That's up to you.
Let's do TV duos.
Okay, that list is long.
It is long, so let's kind of move quickly through it. Let's start with Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street.
Okay. Are there any on here that you want to just get rid of, Dave, before we go and see anything through this?
Probably.
Okay. All right. So let's start. Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, that's what I said. Bert and Ernie. Bert and Ernie. One of my first TV duos I ever saw was Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, they were good. I mean, I grew up with Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers. I love Bert. I'm going to tell you this, just like you had a dummy and have a dummy still. I think I still have Bert, the puppet Bert.
Oh, you know what? I cannot believe you've given me such a hard time about my dummy, and you have had Bert all along.
Well, I'm going to tell you something funny about this doll that I had, or this puppet. So you could put your hand up. It had the 2 arms, and it had Bert's head. Okay, you could put your hand inside of the head of the puppet. Okay, and you could not move the mouth. You could not move the mouth.
I think I know what you're talking about. We had one of those too.
It was terrible.
Yes, it was real stiff. Yeah.
And I can't tell you all the times that I tried moving and I hurt my hand.
Yeah. We had one of those. Yes. Now we don't have it anymore. We didn't keep ours.
Well, I think I hope Mom still has it, because it's probably worth something.
It probably is. Yeah. Yeah.
Mom, if you're listening to me and you still have that doll and you're not giving it to me because you think it's worth some money, you need to think of how much you love me, and that you need to get that back to me as soon as possible. Okay.
All right. Bert and Ernie, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5.
7.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Let's do the next one is Ray and Robert. Ray and Robert Barone from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, I love that show. And my grandkids are in T-ball this year, and Jessica had snacks. She had to take snacks. And so I love it. After this, we've got to go home tonight, and we have got to watch the episode of Everybody Loves Raymond, the T-ball episode where he has to bring snacks. And we did, and we laughed and laughed and laughed.
That's hysterical. That's hysterical. Brad Garrett is a funny man.
He is. He is.
And
Many people may not know that he was a stand-up comedian in his own right before Everybody Loves Raymond.
Right. Now he's on Cameo.
Yeah.
But I love him. I mean, he was so funny. He was Ray, and I love it when Ray and Robert become one person. Raybert,
Yeah.
remember?
Raybert. Yes.
I don't know. This one's going to be tough because this is one of my all-time favorite duos right here.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 9.
10.
Okay. You said 10. Wow. I am amazed.
There's just one funny thing after another.
Yeah, it is. All right. Speaking of great sitcoms,
Okay.
How about this one? Michael Scott and Dwight Schrute from The
yeah.
Office.
Oh boy. A different type of comedy.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
Yep. And have you ever seen the outtakes of those two together?
Yeah.
Rainn Wilson and Steve Carell could not work together without making each other crack up.
I love where it's a Halloween and he's wearing that extra head on his shoulder.
Quiet, you.
I'm sorry, people, but you have to appreciate that was so funny, that humor. This is another tough
2,
one.
3, 10.
8.
Oh, okay. I like them better than you do, it sounds like.
Well, if it had been Jim and Dwight, I'd have gave it one more point.
No, there you go. Yeah. Well, speaking of Jim, here's our next duo, Jim and Pam. Jim Halpert and Pam Beasley, and eventually she became Pam Halpert.
Yeah. Okay. So a great couple. Okay.
Yeah.
Love story, all that kind of stuff. It's fun watching. They were not the funniest. They were funny, but not funny, ha.
Dave, I'm going to tell you something, and I've never admitted this to anyone.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
admitting it to our audience of 6 tonight for the first time.
Yeah.
I first started watching The Office, and I mentioned before that I'm one of the original watchers of it. I saw it from the first season on.
I did too.
The reason why I got hooked was because of Jim and Pam.
Wow.
Their chemistry, John Krasinski and Jenna Fisher, their chemistry is famous. I mean, that's been much talked about, how many people can understand why they weren't a couple in real life. Well, it's because they're actors.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't a real couple. They were acting, and they did an amazing job. There was such good chemistry between the two of them that it hooked me in. I couldn't wait to see the Jim and Pam story develop. And I know that I sound like such a female right now, but that's just the case.
Well, you got your opinion towards them. They were good. You're right. They had a good chemistry.
Yeah.
They did. And not all this is about being funny.
Right.
It's about working together and making a scene really good and that. These are first world discussions is what they are.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 9.
7.
Okay.
All right. Now, this is going to be another tough one for me. Hawkeye and BJ Honeycutt.
Yeah, Hawkeye Pierce and BJ Honeycutt from MASH. Now, were you one of those? Okay, I loved Hawkeye and Trapper.
Yeah.
And Trapper left after the 3rd season.
Yeah.
And I think Hawkeye and Trapper were so good together that it would have been difficult for any actor to step into those shoes. And at first, I didn't think I was going to like Mike Farrell as BJ, but of course, by the time it played out, they were great together. Great chemistry.
I think the only reason it worked, Dave, was because Alan Alda was such a great actor.
Yeah.
That he made the transition from Trapper to BJ really, really good, unique, and he made sure it was different. It just was different.
Yeah.
And
that's right. It wasn't supposed to be the same.
No.
BJ was nothing like Trapper, and that was intentional on the part of the writers. And you're right. Alan Alda made the chemistry different.
Well, we remember they pick him up and he throws up on the side of the road from seeing, the soldiers hurting. Remember that?
Yes.
And
Yes.
they get a little tipsy and they come back and there's Harry Morgan, right?
Yeah.
Isn't Harry Morgan? Yeah, he's there, right?
Yeah.
No.
He had just come on too. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's Frank.
Yes. Ferret face.
And he says ferret face. It was so funny. And BJ was a prankster in his own right.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I loved how he got Hawkeye. I don't know. This is a good one. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 7.
10.
Oh, okay.
I figure if you can give out 10s like you do, I can give out 10s as well. So, okay. All right. Here's another good one.
Laverne and Shirley.
Shamil or
Schlemazel. Yeah.
Hoffenpfeffer Incorporated or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember.
But they were great in the first few seasons. I got tired of them before it was over. And I think it's because behind the scenes, Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams did not get along. And I think that translated to the screen. And so I just kind of got tired of the show. But in the early days, they were great together.
Well, unlike Richie and Fonzie, I don't think Laverne and Shirley had the cast.
Yeah.
To back up
the ensemble. Yep.
Yeah. So it got old fast.
Yeah.
You could only take so much of Lenny and Squiggy.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was, and to me, they tried to act like Lucy and Ethel.
Yep. That had that physical comedy. And you know what? They did great with it. But they went on several seasons too long.
Yep. I know the number for this. 1, 2, 3, 5.
Okay. All right. Well, now we have to do Andy Griffith and Barney Fife.
Where's that at?
That's right after Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, yeah. Got you. Okay. Oh, boy. This is a tough one.
Andy and Barney. I'm telling you what. Again, the reason for their success was because of the incredible talents of Andy Griffith and Don Knotts, who were friends in real life and had great chemistry. And Andy Griffith, who was the star of the show, was so generous to just simply let Don Knotts shine and be who he was. He could have reined him in, but he chose to just let him shine. And it's some great, and you can see watching the show, you can see Andy Griffith just appreciating the talent of Don Knotts.
Oh, I don't know if there'll ever be another duo like that. They were very unique.
Absolutely.
And
did you watch the show after Don Knotts left?
Yeah, I mean, and it was okay, but when you take Don Knotts out, you took the chemistry out of the show.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it after that.
And then please, no Mayberry RFD.
Yeah. Why did they not just quit it when Andy Griffith quit?
And I read people that say that like that's one of their favorite shows, and I'm like, oh, barf, that's not a good show. Well, the 5 years that they were together doing it was the best.
Yes. Yep. All right. 1, 2, 3, 10.
10.
What did you say?
10.
10. Oh, I think we have our top.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let's do a couple more.
Okay. You pick the next one.
All right. Well, I because I like Andy and Barney, I'm going to say Jerry Seinfeld and George Costanza. And the reason why I think that those two are like Andy and Barney is because I think, again, you have where the star was Jerry Seinfeld.
Yep.
And he would just pull back and let not just Jason Alexander, but his other cast members shine. And you can just watch him enjoy their performances.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Jerry and George were definitely, they were quite a couple.
Again, very unique. What do you?
There's anything wrong with that?
No, but where do you? Yeah, no. But how do you? There's no one to compare them to, really.
Yeah. That's true.
A show about nothing that was hysterical. And I don't know. Here's a question. Here's a question for you. Would they have been And like anybody else, would they have been as good as they were if you'd have taken Kramer out of there?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that I think the strength of that duo was backed up by the ensemble, and the ensemble would be Kramer and also Elaine. I think that she was a good foil for them.
What about Andy and Barney? If you took some of the cast members away, would they still have been good?
Absolutely. Andy and Barney were the show. Take OB, take Aunt B. Andy and Barney were the show. But Seinfeld, it was an ensemble. Yeah. And so for that reason, I'm going to score lower on Jerry and George.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 7.
Okay. All right. You pick the next one.
Well, there's a show back in the early 70s called Sanford and Son.
Yeah. Yep.
And I still quote Sanford and Son lines today.
Elizabeth, this is the big one.
Yes. Or you big dummy. You big dummy.
You big dummy. Red Fox and
Desmond, what was his name?
I can't remember now. But yeah.
Yeah. Those guys were good.
They were good. They really were.
Well, they had a good cast too. Oh man. And they got themselves into trouble too.
Desmond Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Of course, hey, I have no excuse because I don't know most people's names anyway, but
I'm Dave.
I loved, first of all, that show was good. The theme music still today, right? Bum, 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 that. And then, but they just had they had a good chemistry, and it's a classic early 70s. I mean, you think of Barney Miller, those, what was the other one? Chico and the Man, all these Good Times, all those 70s comedies were very, very different.
Yes, they were.
I thought they were.
Yep.
And early 70s. Let me say early 70s. Yeah. Well, of course. Yeah. Times changed and things. Yeah. But when Happy Days came on the scene, I think it was 76. Maybe that's when they started.
Earlier than that. It was 73 or 4, actually.
You look on your computer, you look on your thing and find out. Because I don't know.
It was because I remember where we were living when it came out.
No.
It came out in 74.
Okay.
Yeah.
The season of 74, 75.
What?
The season, it started out in fall of 74.
74, yeah.
And
fall
the
74.
first season was also in 75. So you and I are both there, right? You
said 76. So you were still wrong.
Okay. Give me a break, would you? Okay.
No.
Okay. But things started to change then.
Yeah.
Things were getting a little different. So, okay. So anyway, Sanford and Son, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 6. 4. Did you not watch them that much?
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of Sanford and Son.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's, we didn't do Richie and Fonzie. We had Hans and Franz. We had Bob Ross and painting.
Donnie Marie.
Captain Kirk and Spock.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah. Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon. So here's what we have. Out of those that we've done, the top 2 would be Andy and Barney, okay, with 20. And then with 19 is Ray and Robert. And the worst out of that was Laverne and Shirley.
Okay,
we're going to keep these, and we're going to eventually finish these, and then maybe we'll do something about, maybe we'll ask all of our 6 viewers to vote on what they think their favorite, duos were out of those that we picked.
Yeah, we'll do this again, and that'll teach you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, hey, it's been fun talking about the dynamic duos. What did you think, Dave?
Yeah, it has. I would like to do it again because we have some great lists that we just didn't have time to get to.
And friends, let me tell you, we have no clue where our conversation's going in these things, but
No,
this was fun. This was fun. Well, we want to thank.
Yes, we do. We want to thank our guest. Our guest.
Okay, well, folks, I had Andy on there, and Andy was on our last show. So anyway, we want to thank you for joining us tonight, and hopefully, you'll come back again and listen to us. I hope. And just realize that even when there's no chemistry between the two Daves are better than one. Isn't that right, Dave?
That's right. And hey, don't forget to comment wherever you listen to this podcast. Help us increase our podcasting viewership this coming week. And until next time, remember that 2 days are always better than one.
And I just said that.
Did you really?
Yes.